The only difference between what I'm talking about and what you all are probably thinking is I can almost guarantee you that like 80% of you have bought drugs from this guy at one point in your life. His name is Charles Waldron. Off on the right-hand side, you got this house with the patio hanging over the water. Another one I can almost guarantee a lot of you have put a couple shingles on. Anyone ever shopped using their Kohl's cash? That's Herbert Kohl's house, and that just shows you if you've ever used your Kohl's cash, he's now got your cash. The empty lot next door, every year they round up all their returns and have a yard sale. That's where I buy my towels. Great deal. It is. On the right-hand side, the house that they are doing some work on the seawall right there originally belonged to Pamela Huizinga. It was a gift from her brother Wayne Huizinga, who we'll talk about a little bit further up there. She has sold the house. It was bought by the Fishers. The Fishers brought you all offleaseonly.com, that car leasing website.
Ooh, empty mansion.
Just across
Perfect.
the canal, the White House with the 3 arches. That was the first Cat 5 house, or one of the first Cat 5 houses to be built in the city of Fort Lauderdale, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It can withstand up to a Category 5 hurricane, 180 mile an hour sustained winds. There are 2 natural disasters that house cannot withstand. The first one and the obvious one being flooding. It's all fun and games till your house is an aquarium. So, can't survive that much flooding. The second one, the reason it's up for sale, is a divorce attorney. And they'll tear that thing to the ground every time. Off on the right-hand side, this guy is my hero. Remember I was talking about the Idlewild Airport? That was a Navy air station. This wasn't always fancy houses and big yachts back here. That's a double-wide trailer on a $7 million plot of dirt. And once HOA started taking over, they said to him, listen, it's ugly. We don't want it there. It's got to meet certain requirements. So everything you see to the right of that double-wide trailer, those are just walls with shutters on them, nothing inside of them. Still living in his double-wide trailer. House off to the right-hand side is what's called a shotgun-style home. Getting real popular down here, especially on Miami Beach. The main purpose of them is storms. They handle storms very well. Living quarters is about 30 feet above sea level, so any crazy storm surge, you're not going to be underwater. And that big open hole at the bottom, wind goes through instead of busting out windows and doors and all that kind of stuff. Fair storms pretty well.
What are you talking about? Where's that at?
Switching over to the left-hand side, you got this beautiful house. Can be yours for $3.5 million. Pretty cheap, right? 16,000 square feet, 12 bedroom, 8 bathrooms on a beautiful corner lot on the New River. That $3.5 million will cover your 10% down payment on your $32 million house. All right, now we're going to talk about Wayne Huizinga. If you don't know who he was the only man to successfully build 3 Fortune 500 companies from the ground up. 1968, he got himself a dump truck, turned that into waste management. Him and his nephew got into the VHS rental business out in Southeast Texas, turned that into Blockbuster Video, which he sold to Viacom for $4.8 billion 9 months before Netflix was released.
Look at the postcard in front of us.
And up until he passed away, he was the founder and CEO of Auto Nation, the leading auto dealer in North America. If you didn't know him from the business world, you might have known him from the sports world. He was the only person to have owned 3 major league sports teams, one being the Miami Dolphins, second being the Florida Panthers, and the third, the Florida Marlins. This is his house off to the left-hand side. It started with the guest house and the movie theater, then the grandkids' playhouse, and then there's 5 houses connected together by a series of breezeways and walkways. Got some traffic here. We're gonna slow down.
Coast Guard.
Let them get by. Keep your eyes open on the left-hand side. Still looking at Mr. Huizinga's estate. See the pool area, and you got that gazebo tower looking thing. The second floor is your 6-person jacuzzi, which is pretty cool. Up on the top, those bells will ring 1,000 of Wayne's favorite songs. And that staircase leading up to that 6-person jacuzzi, all the way from the bottom to top, is real 24 karat gold inlay. Because why not? He was very generous with his money. Wayne Huizinga did a lot for the city of Fort Lauderdale and Miami. This house was another one, his last parting gift. In his will, he said, whatever house I'm living in at the time of my death, I want you guys to auction it off and give every single dollar to charity. So they auctioned the house off, brought in about $17 million on that auction, which is about half of what the property is worth. It was auctioned off to a man named Chuck West. Chuck West is the founder of Pet Supermarket, which is the same thing as Petco, PetSmart, if you're not familiar with Pet Supermarket. Creeping along here, slowly but surely making our way up the New River. As we come around marker number 12 here, look off to your left-hand side. It's another Huizinga property. Looks like the Harry Potter house, right? Supposed to. Set designers from Harry Potter came down from Universal Studios, designed that place. Wayne Huizinga gifted that to his niece Holly for her wedding present. How many of you guys got a $22 million house for your wedding present? Anybody with their hand up, I want to be your friend. I got a crock pot and a blender. The crock pot still works. Coming up on your right-hand side. Your right-hand side is going to be this Mexican-style home right on this beautiful corner lot here on Tarpon Bend. It's listed for sale for just over $9 million by the Bell family. The Bell family brought you all Taco Bell. They put the house up for sale because Mr. and Mrs. Bell said it was too hot here in Fort Lauderdale. They wanted to move back to Arizona. I don't know. They say it's the humidity, but 115 degrees is 115 degrees. I don't care where you are. Coming up here on your left-hand side, teal-colored house with the boat High Risk in the back. House may look slightly familiar to some of you. Anyone ever seen the movie Cape Fear with Nick Nolte?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, they fooled you guys into thinking that they were in North Carolina on the Cape Fear River. Really, they're on the New River in Fort Lauderdale. The reason they were down here is because Nick Nolte, he was doing his two favorite things. He was drinking and driving. Couldn't leave the county. So they had to fool you guys into thinking you were on the Cape Fear River. Clearly it worked. Next house, just to the right of the Cape Fear house, that was another Huizinga property. That house was part of the contract with Nick Saban when he was coaching the Dolphins. That's where Nick Saban lived. Now he's in Alabama, I think.
Yeah.
Traitor.
Yeah. Wow,
All right.
Nice pool.
Slowly but surely, still moving along. Got some decent traffic in front of us. Let everyone clear out before we can keep moving at our normal speed. Off on your right-hand side, house with the white and green boat on the lift out back. We call that one the kitchen house. If you look into their backyard, you see those French doors right in the center of the house. If you were to open those French doors and turn left, that would be your 1,800 square foot kitchen. It's funny, when the lights are on at night, you can see them running around there trying to cook dinner. Going from the oven to the sink to the fridge. Up on the left-hand side, you got this real modern-looking house with all the glass windows. The guy who bought that lot loved that tree that was in the middle of the lot, so he built that house around the tree. Pretty cool. That tree right in the center of that lot, it's a dogwood tree.
Yeah.
You can always tell it's a dogwood tree just by looking at what kind of bark it has. Haha. The jokes only get worse, people. That's why Gina's back there. Next house on the left-hand side, you got this Gray Sea Hummer boat out back. Anyone ever eaten at Anthony's Coal-Fired Pizza? Anthony's Runway 84, that's Anthony's place. Alright, anyone looking for a pretty good deal out here on the New River? Price-wise, comparatively speaking. These green condos off on your right-hand side can pick one up for just over $200,000. That's for a one-bedroom, one-bathroom. Pretty decent deal. You gotta put your name down on that 4-year waiting list. Hopefully one comes available. Those were built back in the early 70s. So they're pretty updated. Don't gotta worry about too much. Right up here, coming up on the left-hand side, you got this little park here. Place for people to come sit on these benches, watch the boats go by.
Go
Beautiful day
fishing.
like today, we always see people out there with their dogs and
Fishing
stuff.
park. Where this is at?
Next door to that little park right there, you got this house that's under construction. That house was originally built for a very infamous gangster named Bugsy Siegel. That was Bugsy's house. Called it his fishing camp, where he spent some time over there. It's part of the historical society, so they cannot tear it down and build something new. But they're doing all this construction because nobody has said they can't add anything to it. Next house off on the right hand or on the left hand side, got that orange house with the white boat out back. The longest serving mayor in Fort Lauderdale's history, that's Mayor Jim Noggle. He did a lot with Wayne Huizenga down here in the Fort Lauderdale area. He served 8 consecutive terms as the mayor of Fort Lauderdale. And all back here used to just be boatyards and mangroves and nothing too great to do back here. It was just forest. So they turned the downtown area into what you're about to see, as it is now Las Olas Boulevard. Call it the Rodeo Drive of Fort Lauderdale. Alright, sticking to the right hand side here for a little bit. Started this dock here. This is the dock for the Riverside Hotel, which is this green hotel up here on the right hand side. After we pass around this tan boat here, you're going to see you got a pool. Nice pool here at the Riverside Hotel. And just after the pool, you got a restaurant, the Boathouse. Boathouse is a great place. You can hang out on the water, grab a drink, grab a bite to eat if you're walking down the Riverwalk, and watch the boats go by. And if you feel like you ate too much at lunch, you can go up to the second floor of that restaurant. You can work out at the gym. The Riverside Hotel, that green hotel right behind that restaurant, opened in 1935. And back in 1935, that ribbon cutting ceremony was done by an actor you probably all know. His name was Ronald Reagan. Before he was Mr. President, he was an actor. Did the ribbon cutting ceremony for him down here at the Riverside Hotel. Alright, just about now, about 40 feet under us is one of the longest running roads in the United States. It starts down in Key West, goes all the way up to central Maine. That is US Highway 1 right underneath us. There's a tunnel, the Henry E. Kinney Tunnel. You can see the cars coming out of it on that side over there. And off to your right hand side, that white structure with the green trimming around it, that is the standing structure in the city of Fort Lauderdale. Built in 1901 for Frank and Ivy Stranahan House. The Stranahan House over there, you can take tours of it, see the history of Fort Lauderdale, all kinds of cool stuff they got going on. Try again. New restaurant over here on the right hand side, Salt 7. Nice little bar and restaurant right there on the water. Another stop you can make while you're on the Riverwalk. And as you can see, Saturday is in full force down here on the New River. Got all kinds of little boats squeezing by us, trying to get out of here. Off on the left hand side, you got this white boat, the Musette, and its little sister, the Musette 2, right in front of it. Those are charter boats. They do private parties, office parties, wedding parties, divorce parties, anything you need. They're trying to bring in as much business as they can this year. So if you guys want to jump on the Musette, if you get married and divorced in the same year, you get a 2-for-1. So that's a nice deal for you, if anyone's interested. We're going to be making a right turn here on a turn we call Danger Bend. Call it Danger Bend because, as you can see, there's not too much room to do much of anything other than go straight. Oh, Heather can handle this, of course. Do this with her eyes closed. Got some traffic coming out. I'm gonna squeeze by them. Off on the right hand side, you see this brick pathway. That is the Riverwalk. The Riverwalk was gifted to the city of Fort Lauderdale by Wayne Huizenga. Wayne Huizenga, like I said, very generous with his money. This walkway stretches about 5 miles round trip. Starts back at the Riverside Hotel. Goes all the way up to the Performing Arts Center. You can work your way back. A few little restaurants. You can walk along the river and watch all the boats go by. If you're looking for another pretty good deal here on the New River, you got the New River Landing over here on the left-hand side. Those you can pick yourself up a studio there for just over $100,000. If anyone's interested in some waterfront living here on the New River. All right, coming up to the first bridge of this trip. This is the 3rd Avenue Bridge. These bridges have been in service for 80 years, just about. They are manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Gotta go up. This is a major thoroughfare for yachts. All the way up at the end of this river, they got a whole bunch of boatyards, shipyards. Pull these big yachts out of the water, do all kinds of maintenance and stuff. And you think it's tight for us? They tow 180, 190 foot yachts right up through here, through the heart of downtown, up to places like Lauderdale Marine Center. All right, squeezing through 3rd Avenue Bridge. This waterway is the New River, or the newest river. It's not new. Been around for about 500 years. Formed by a freshwater aquifer underneath the land. It has since turned saltwater, connecting to the Atlantic Ocean. This is a saltwater river. We'll turn to freshwater once you get about 8 miles west, where it connects to the Everglades. All right, this is a great area over here. We're in the heart of downtown. Coming up on your left-hand side is the largest hotel in Fort Lauderdale. They can have about 2,000 people at a time. 3 free meals a day, a bar in every room, great security, top of the line security, and you get a free phone call. Right on your left-hand side is the Fort Lauderdale main jail. Wave high. Now that's the main jail over there, sitting on the 2nd most expensive piece of commercial real estate in the heart of downtown Fort Lauderdale. That piece of land's worth about $60 million. All right, squeezing our way through here, coming up to our 2nd bridge. If you look off to the left-hand side, you look off to the left-hand side, you got the Downtowner Saloon there. The Downtowner Saloon is the oldest bar in Fort Lauderdale, opened in 1925. Attached to the Downtowner is the Maxwell Room. The Maxwell Room started its life as a speakeasy back in the days of Prohibition. Say bye to our friends over here, the Coast Guard boat. This park over here on the right-hand side, you got that pavilion right there, big grass field. This is a great place. Any old person can come out here, set up shop, play some live music, put on a magic show, do whatever they want. Another piece of land donated to the city by Mr. Wayne Huizinga. All right, coming through our 2nd bridge, the Andrews Avenue Bridge. Wave hi to our bridge tender over here. They always love it when we get a nice wave. That's him saying hi back to you. Off on the right-hand side, newer restaurant here on the New River. Name of it is Rivertail. Mid to high-end seafood restaurant. Another place you can stop by on the Riverwalk, sit outside, have a drink, grab some lunch, watch the boats go by. And just next door to Rivertail, you have the Wharf. The Wharf is the largest outdoor bar in downtown Fort Lauderdale. Pre-COVID, they were stuffing about 4,500 people in that area right there. That quickly came to a halt. They stopped on that. Opened up a few weeks ago with some new guidelines, and they've been doing pretty good ever since they reopened. Alright, this next bridge, this is the FEC train bridge, or Florida East Coast train bridge. Runs all the way up the east coast of the United States, or excuse me, the
I
east coast
found
of
the
Florida.
taxis.
Starts in Jacksonville and goes down to just about the Upper Keys. Freight trains and a new passenger train. I don't know if you guys have seen the Bright Line train, those speed
There's
trains.
the
They got stops
Pirates
in
Republic
downtown Miami,
Bar, Seafood
Fort
and
Lauderdale,
Grill.
and Palm Beach as of right now. They are laying tracks to make their way all the way up to Orlando. And for those of you that have done the drive from Miami to Orlando, it takes about 3 hours, 3.5 hours on a good day. Jump on that Bright Line train. Once they start going to Orlando, you'll be there in just over an hour. Staying to the right-hand side, you got this restaurant right here. That's the River House, part of the oldest village in the city of Fort Lauderdale, founded in 1895. Restaurant, a few apartments, a couple of houses back there. They do tours, old house tours. They do year-round haunted house tours if anyone's into that kind of stuff. Can eat right there at the River House. They're open on select dates.
Oh, it's amazing over here.
Coming up on the right-hand side, you got the IMAX theater. See that big white building over just ahead of us off to the right-hand side? An IMAX theater is just a 5-story movie screen. Crazy surround sound. Do 3D movies over there. It's a really cool way to watch a movie if you've never done it. That's another thing Wayne Huizinga played a big part in. The IMAX theater as well as the Museum of Discovery and Science. And if you continue around the bend here, you see that name up there on that building. What's that name? Once again, you'll see the name Huizinga over there on the building. That's the Huizinga Pavilion and Performing Arts Center. Put on a bunch of good shows there. And got a few shops down there. Good place to go check out if you're around downtown. Alright, as you can all tell, we are spinning around and we're going to retrace our steps and go right back to where we just came from because that's the only way out. I'm going to put you guys down. Just got to go over a few things with you real quick. Again, I just want to reinforce the masks. Got to have your masks on unless you are eating or drinking. We do appreciate your cooperation on that one.
I haven't had my
Pictures,
mask on
the boarding
the whole
photos
time.
that you guys had taken for you
There's
when you were
nobody
getting on
here.
the boat. Our photographer will be walking
Awesome.
around shortly, offering those photos up for sale to you guys. Parking is the third and final thing I got to go over. If you have not paid for parking, you might want to listen to this. You go back to the bar, see Gina. Gina will charge you $7 for your flat rate of parking at Bahia Mart. To use that parking ticket to get out of Bahia Mart, you're going to put the one that you got back into the machine, and then you're going to scan the QR code that we gave you, and then the gate should, in theory, open. So other than that, now I got those things taken care of. I'm going to put you guys down. I'm going to throw on some music for you guys. Relax, enjoy. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
And
I'll pick back up with you guys
that is the
when we
tour.
get down into Port Never.
That's a wrap.